because I opened the link in Google Chrome, but it doesn't work.
Okay.
So I realized maybe I should try Safari. So now it works.
It seems to
Thank
be
God.
working.
Yes,
It's
good.
saying I'm having some issues this end. I'm just going to check the settings. Just bear with me one moment.
Okay, sure.
Oh, looks good actually. I don't know what. All looks good. All looks good, Annie, and we're live streaming up on YouTube as well.
Great.
So thank you so much for joining me. We're here to discuss your show that you're about to take to the Edinburgh Fringe. Dots.
Yes.
How are you feeling at this moment just before the Edinburgh Fringe starts?
Super excited. I landed yesterday.
Hmm.
It's it's exhausting, it's I mean a long haul flight, but it's I'm super excited because right before, I mean just a few days back on Thursday, so it's 24th of July, I just did an open dress rehearsal of Dots in Hong Kong and received very, very good feedback from the audience. So it's very, very encouraging. Although it's not the first time I'm doing it. I mean this show has been staged since 2018. So it's not my first time doing it, but the show kept growing and growing, and I refined the show every time when it was staged. So it's still very exciting to see the audience again. And it's just, when you're a solo performer, you're not just doing the show itself. You're doing lots
Mm.
of other stuff like, flyering and then networking and administration stuff. Um, so it's super packed. And I really, really look forward to, being in the theater and, share the show with the audience and interact with the audience afterwards. So, yeah.
So where have you travelled from to arrive in Edinburgh? Where have you just come from?
Hong Kong.
You've come from Hong Kong, so it's
Yes.
literally you've travelled the other side of the world to be here. And what's so appealing for you to take your show that you've been doing in Hong Kong and share it at Edinburgh?
Uh, well, I think a few years back, I think it's 2 years ago. So I visited Edinburgh Fringe for the first time. I was a tourist and was really, really impressed by, the wide spectrum of shows available here in Edinburgh Fringe. So it's honestly speaking, I it's not like I liked every single one of it, but I still, even if that is not my cup of tea, I'm still very, very impressed by, the freedom of expression. So
Mm.
you can do just literally anything that you would like to share with your audience, and a variety of voices, the variety of cultures. And I always think that, I don't know, my experiences, I always think that Edinburgh Fringe, we have the best audience in Edinburgh Fringe. It's almost like the
Hmm.
audience just, they come in and then they're waiting for you to share the good stuff with them. So they are very, very supportive and very, very warm audience. So yeah, and of course I've watched many, 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 many great shows here as well. So many of them are like my favorites and then like impressed me for a very, very long period of time. So yeah, and I think I don't know, I'm a solo performer, so I think maybe it's kind of a dream for a solo performer to, do a solo show at Edinburgh Fringe. Yeah, it's very challenging, but it's really, really tempting, to share your piece with them, in the most famous theater festival in the world.
It is, and I wonder if that's because the festival, there's so many like-minded individuals there. There's so many people there putting on their shows, but I'm sure that when you arrive, you'll also be going to see other shows as well. And I think I've found from my experience last year that the audience wants you to win. The audience wants you to do
Yeah,
well when they're on the stage because they understand what it is you're trying to
exactly, exactly.
achieve.
Yeah, and the ambience, I mean, the whole month is
So
just,
tell
I don't know,
me,
it's
have I
just
lost? Are you still
everyone is
there?
very supportive and very,
Oh,
very friendly to
frozen. I
artists.
don't
And
know if you
then,
can still hear me, Annie.
you have that kind of willingness to talk to
We'll hold on
people.
pause for a
So yeah,
moment.
I've got a show coming, and then, oh, so what you're
We're
doing, that
frozen.
kind of connection is really, really, is really, really precious. especially in this,
See
generation
if Annie
where
comes
people are
back.
just glued to the phone, and then now we have the human to human
Let's just check
interaction.
the
So I
internet.
really look forward to this time. Oops. Is there a connection problem?
So, whilst we're in this little moment, I'll just see if I can work out the delay. Apparently, one person's watching. One person's watching me wait. The time is 12:12. 12:12, and yeah, we'll see what the delay is. I think it's a minute. So I'm watching my clock, 12:12, just out of interest, whilst we wait to see if Annie can rejoin. It's about 30 seconds. About 30 seconds delay. Annie!
I'm
Hello.
so sorry. I don't know. On my
No,
side, it's like,
Edinburgh is notoriously bad for Wi-Fi signal.
okay, so you're experienced about this one. Okay, thank you.
Yes, whenever I'm chatting to someone in Edinburgh, the Wi-Fi is terrible.
Oh no,
So
no, no. Yeah.
it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's just the way that it is.
Yeah, because there's full reception here. It shows like no problem, but I don't know why it said it's unable to connect. But anyway, I changed the
We're here.
slot, so I hope
Good.
it works.
Yes, we'll keep going. So I don't know what you heard of my last question there. I was asking you about your dreams then for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival as you're about to enter. You mentioned there that it is the actor's dream to be here in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you?
Well, what does that look like to me? I mean, in Edinburgh, you have a global audience. So it's not like I come from Hong Kong. So Dots was first staged in London, and then I took the shows to physically I took the shows to Vancouver, and then finally my hometown Hong Kong. And then during the COVID years, I also shared the shows with online audience in New York and also Singapore, because COVID, you cannot travel, but we have lots of like very good online theater festivals. It's always my dream to I don't know. It's always my dream to share my creative works with people coming from different cultures and backgrounds, because I'm very, very interested in something that we both share in common as a human being. Although we look very different, okay, so our race is different, gender, occupation, background, cultures, habits, okay, but the core humanity that we share. I think this is very, very precious, because that's why we have empathy. That's why we have connection. That's why we have this kind of love for other human beings. We care for others. And I'm always interested in that something that, that core humanity that we share. So I think the greatest thing to test it out, whether it really touches on, universal themes and universal struggles, or, our psychology, is to share your show with like with a global audience, people coming from different countries, different parts of the world, different backgrounds, different beliefs. And I think for Edinburgh Fringe is the place that I can do that, because many people, not just, definitely not just people living in the UK, but people from all around the world are coming here together. Um, I think it's just a great place to do this kind of, if I may call it, experiment.
So do you see your show as an experiment then? Do you see your show as a way of connecting with people, with building that empathy and connecting us all through that human experience?
Yeah, definitely. And actually, it was kind of unplanned. I mean, it's
Mm,
everything is not my if if I may share, that's how my show was born. So it was
of
back
course.
in 2018. I was studying acting at Mount View Academy of Theatre Arts. I studied acting and MA degree in London. And at that time, looking back, at that time I didn't know much, but I just knew that I was very unhappy all the time. But looking back, I suffered from so-called high functioning depression. So on the face of it, I nailed everything. So I'm a straight A student, and then I achieved many awards and a scholarship, etc. But then deep down, I always felt like I wanted to die. Maybe not
Hmm.
taking the initiative to do anything to harm myself, but it's like, it's like passively, like want something bad to happen to me. So it's very weird because at that point in my life, it's like many things were I mean actually quite good, but to me I was very 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 depressed. And at that time I still remember I have to, I still wanted to graduate. There is a creative project that I have to do, so I have to create a show myself, and I was very very desperate, so I just googled something, and then drama therapeutic performance, and then I found that there is a genre which is called self-revelatory theater. So this is a genre of theater merge, which merges drama therapy and theater performance. So the show has to be artistic and also at the same time therapeutic to the performer. But if it is a good show, it is also, inspiring and uplifting for the audience as well. So I've I kind of discovered this genre, and then I've very luckily I found my drama therapist who would like to work with me. And then I attended like six drama therapy sections, and during those sections, I kind of, under her guidance, explored what were the things that made me so depressed in that particular period of time. So what were my struggles in life? And then after I understood myself better, and then I framed it with a dramatic framework and turn it into a solo show. So it was all intended as a homework, as an assignment that so that I could graduate. Okay, because I kind of like, one stone, two birds. Like I want to graduate, and at the same time, I wanted to feel better after I handed in my assignment, my creative performance. But surprise, I mean, very surprisingly and gratefully, I've got very, very good feedback from my audience who are my teachers and also my classmates, and they encouraged me to, okay, Annie, you should, take it to the public. So that's why right after I took the show to Camden Fringe. So that was 2018, and I got very, very good reviews again. So I was again very soon invited to do another rerun at Actor Center. I know by now Actor Centers may have changed name. I don't know. I heard from somebody, but at that time it's still called Actor Center in London. And then I did a show there, Tristan Based Theatre. So I did another rerun there, and I got very, very good feedback. And so that's why even during, that was 2019. And then we all know, okay, so 2020 is COVID times, right? So initially I was also invited to bring the show to New York and also Singapore, like physically bring the show there, but it's COVID. So I shared it online, so with the audience. And then later I also took the show to Vancouver, and finally went back to Hong Kong to stage my shows in, and then finally got the chance to stage my show both in English and also Cantonese, which is my mother tongue. So, so looking back, the journey was like it started with something really, really. I mean, I was in the kind of like a deepest valley in my life at that time. It was like, it was like a gift. It's interesting. So when you look at life this way, sometimes something very, very beautiful will grow from something, initially quite dark or quite depressing, but depressing, but then eventually it became something really, really nice. I mean, it's not just therapeutic to me. The nicest thing that I experienced through sharing this show is every time the audience amazed me in a way right after the show. So they're not just saying, "Oh, the show is fabulous, it's very touching, entertaining, inspiring." Not only that, I think the magic of my show is they kind of like that's what people told me. I mean, when I did the show at in Vancouver, so one of the theater professors at University of British Columbia, he was he said very encouraging was he said, "Well, Annie, keep doing the show because your show was like a catalyst that initiating people to open up their hearts to share their vulnerability and to connect with each other more deeply." So
It sounds like to me, Annie, you're someone that because you've been in the dark, you know
yeah,
how to shine the light. You know how to show people the way through forward with that now. And I want to tread carefully with this subject and sensitively. So if I ask questions that you don't want to answer, then we won't go there. But if if you was to look back at that time when things were dark for you, how did theatre and playing and that creative therapy, how did that help you out of the darkness?
thank you, Martin. Very good question. How did first of all I got a drama therapist on board. That's very important because I
Yes.
still remember back in those days when I do this, creative project, I have to hand it in a proposal to my teacher at Mountview, and they said if you could not find a drama therapist, you can't do this project because it's not safe.
Okay.
It's not
Okay. So
safe
this
to your
isn't
mental health.
something that this isn't this isn't yeah, like I said, we need to tread carefully
Yeah, 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 yeah.
on this
That's true.
subject,
So
don't
that's
we?
why I want to highlight
Mhm.
this also. So if you want to do this kind of theater, you need someone professional on board with you. Um, I mean, ideally, I've got someone really ideal. So she's not only a drama therapist, she's also, so once upon a time, she also studied theater. She's also an actress once upon a time, but then later on, she shifted her career path to, drama therapist. Um, so those 6 drama therapy sections that I was with my drama therapist was really, really important because you're under professional guidance, how you revisit those what we call traumas. Maybe it's childhood traumas, maybe it's traumas caused by relationships, etc., etc. So how you approach them in a setting which is safe for you, and also at the same time, when you share this, because I'm it's interesting because for people who only so this is called self-revelatory theater performance. For people, if they're not actors actresses, okay, so they may only do the show to the what we call circle of trust, so they may invite their families and friends, so it's not intended to be public. Okay, but for me, because I am, I'm an actress, and it's so the line that you have to draw with your drama therapist together is how you can share your private struggles safely with the audience, and at the same time the show is going to be therapeutic. It's not re-traumatizing, but it's therapeutic for you, and also it's uplifting and inspiring for the audience. So that's
Mhm.
the framework that you have to follow. You have to seek the advice and the guidance of a professional drama therapist. And
I know. As an actor,
mm,
I've found in the past that when I've been performing a play that's very emotional, that can affect me when it has no link to my life, when it's nothing to do with me. So I guess the danger is, from what I'm hearing from you, is that if you take a real life experience, you transform that into theatre, then that can heighten some of the emotions in a bad way. Is that potential there?
yeah, and for me, I think I'm not saying I won't, because everybody has a different how it term it. I won't say tolerance, but everybody is like very when you face your own, struggles. For example, you have a scar. But yes, maybe I borrowed the analogy from my drama therapist. I think it's really really useful, and it's a very very visual. So you have to know the difference for yourself. The difference between a fresh wound and a scar. Okay, if it is a
Mm.
fresh wound, you have to let it heal. Let time heals. You cannot touch it and then you know all the time. So because it cannot be healed if it is still a fresh wound,
You
bleeding
can't
wound.
keep picking at the scab, can you? Otherwise, it will keep bleeding.
Yes, that's true. So you can keep poking at it. If it is a fresh wound,
Yes.
bleeding wound.
Mm.
But if it is a scar, okay, that is much, much safer. But at the same time, some people, oh, this is a scar that I want to hide it. But some people they don't care. Okay, this is a scar. Once upon a time I got it and now I got healed and I'm willing to share. So this is very personal. So you have to ask yourself whether it's for you is digging up your old wounds and then become making it become a fresh wounds again, or for you, it's like it's
Hmm.
okay. I can share the scars with you. Okay, it's just like a tattoo on me now. I think it's yeah. Once upon a time it's a scar, but
It's
it's
pa-
now
it,
I.
it's now part of the journey. It's part
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
experience, but it's not what
exactly.
I'm living. It's not the now.
Yeah, exactly. And also thank you for your question because this is also a question that audience. I mean, some audience kept asking me, "Oh, Annie, you brought up this like because I will be sharing some very personal at the same time, definitely at that particular period of time, traumatic memories, experiences in my life." But for me, I mean, it for me, it's is really therapeutic when I share those vulnerable moments with audience who were who are so attentive and who are so they always I mean I always feel this warmth right after doing thoughts. It's kind of like after 45 minutes, we were strangers before that 45 minutes, but after that 45 minutes we kind of build an unspeakable bond or trust. So that's why uh the audience not just saying, "Oh, my show is blah 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 blah." They also started sharing their own stories with me. Okay, may not be publicly with the other audience, but always it always happens. It's very interesting. I've been an actress for like how many years? I graduated in 2010, so it's like 15 years now. It only happened to my solo shows that after that show, there was a queue of audience lining up, not just ask for autographs or photos. Yes, that's true also, but they wanted to share. They wanted to, okay, oh, Annie, I totally related to that moment. I thank you for speaking up for me. If you I even there's someone telling me just during the open dress rehearsal in Hong Kong just a few days back, and they said, "Oh, it's like watching my own documentary." When I watch your show, it's like, "Oh, it's me." Okay, okay. And they then told me, "Annie, I feel less lonely now because now I know there's someone like me." Because somehow, in this generation, people we always want to present the best version of ourselves on social media. We want to hide our weaknesses. We want to filter out everything, not just our photographs. But then
Hmm.
when I'm so, kind of nakedly exposed, I don't, I mean, it's just literally very nakedly expose my weaknesses, my most vulnerable moments. They feel like, okay, so someone is just like me. So we kind of celebrate this kind of, connection. And it's
And
very mean.
I wonder, Annie, through that connection, if that's giving you, it sounds to me like you are becoming free through building that connection with people.
Exactly.
It's releasing something. So when that audience is there with you in the theatre space, experiencing your story, and then you're connecting the dots between each other,
Yeah.
and then it sounds to me like there's this freedom from the past that you can let go of that. Does that resonate with you? Is that how you feel?
True, true, true. And especially, so I said it's a high functioning depression, and it's a lot to do with my own. It's a battle against myself, if I may say so. So it's dealing with my inner voices, okay, my inner critic. We always have
Yes.
the harshest inner critic. I don't know if it rings true for artists as well. I mean, it's always
I
always a
think
hold
for
that.
most of us.
Yes, so the standard is like impossibly high. We are more friendly to our
Mhm.
friends and people we love, but we actually we owe ourselves this kind of compassion and empathy that we should give to ourselves. But then when there is a live audience out there, listen to you 45 minutes, very attentive, and they embrace you, and they think, it is fine. You don't have to be perfect. We still love you. And then you feel like, okay, it's okay to be me. So I'm not perfect, but it's okay to be me. So this is for me is very, very therapeutic. Thinking about, because this is also a question that I keep asking my drama therapist. I said, okay, I'm going to make a confession. If this show is going to be only meaningful to me, feel I don't feel very motivated to do it, to be honest. But if it is also meaningful for others, then I will have more, I will feel more motivated to keep going, because it's like it's this show was born in 2018. Now it's 2025. I could move on, but at the same time, because audience keep coming back to me, the show is very meaningful to them, and that makes me feel
Mhm.
like, okay, maybe I should keep doing it. And I'm not.
That's where I found the power, Annie. That's where I found the power is in that doing something for others drives the motivation more within ourselves.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
when it becomes
exactly.
a thing that's bigger than ourselves.
Yes.
For instance, when I was a performer, when I was an actor years ago, I was only doing it for me. It was all about me all the time, and that's all I focused on, and it wasn't working. And
Yeah.
I was struggling with my motivation, with my ambitions. It wasn't, nothing was connecting. But as soon as I shifted what I was doing and I made my focus about others, everything for me is working out as well. And my
Yes.
motivation is so much stronger than it ever was before.
Yes, exactly. So in a way, weirdly, I kind of like grateful for what I gone through. I mean, if I didn't have that, darkest period of time, I wouldn't have come up with dots, because it's kind of it's a desperate attempt to save myself, I would say. To save myself from, I don't I still wanted to graduate. Even though I was thinking about death all the time, I still wanted to graduate. So that's definition of high functioning depression. So on the face of it, nobody could really understand what's going on here. Why was there such an hopelessness? So why I asked all those existential questions all the time. But then because of that period of time, and I feel like, okay, if that helped me, I want to help others too. So not saying that I'm a god that I can help you to solve the problems, but then this is something that has sustained me, and I hope through sharing that, I mean, we may not be able to solve all the problems in one day, in one moment, but we have the resilience to go on. We have this little bit of light, dots of light to go on our journey. Yeah.
So tell me, Annie, a little bit about your hopes and dreams for the future. At this moment, we're literally about to start the dream that is the Edinburgh Fringe. But what does that dream of the next month and beyond actually look like for you?
Okay. Do you mean it's also related to dots or other shows of mine or my career path or whatever?
Your life.
Your life. Okay. Wow, my life. I'm going to start a very exciting life. So for dots, definitely I want dots to continue to go places. Because uh if you have a chance to see it, I hope you have a chance to see it. So you will see it can be a suitcase performance. It's like I carried a suitcase to every different parts of the world. I've been performing dots in a proper theater, in a very small theater, or in a conference room. I have done that. Okay, and it, of course, if it is a theater, we have lighting, better sound, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, it's about storytelling. It's about me authentically, honestly sharing this story with my audience. And sometimes even a conference room, I mean, because it's a very, very, very intimate space. I only got maybe 20 audience, but the connection is just golden. So for me, I hope to continue bring dots to different places. And hopefully I will have collaborators with me. So this is a solo show, but I want to have companions in this journey. I did this in the past with I know you have Mind UK in the UK, right? So we also have an
Yes.
organization called Mind Hong Kong. So, and also Hong Kong, we have Expressive Arts Therapy Service Center. So I did collaborations with different charitable organizations, mental health advocates, and I always enjoyed. It's golden time for me. So after the show, so we have a post show sharing section. So we talk to the audience, and the audience also share their stories, and I find it really, really precious. So I want to, besides my artistic pursuit, I want to, promote mental health awareness through the creative works that I'm doing. So as an artist, this is a global mental health crisis that we're facing, and I think it's happening everywhere in the world. So I hope as an artist, I could also contribute while I am doing the thing that I love most, theater. So this is for Dots, and also I've got because of Dots, I also have other solo shows. Uh, during the COVID times, I was, you know, I've I'm kind of migrated to the UK at the worst timing. That's COVID.
Yes.
I got on the plane in mid-March 2020,
No.
and then I just got
And then
locked
lockdown.
down. So so my friends laughed at me. You flew to get your lockdown in London. So during that 6 months and other very, very dark period of time, because at that time I was suffering from not high functioning, but low functioning depression. I've lots of like personal life issues, and but again, because I don't know why, this is kind of my destiny now. Because of that darkest period of time, I got nothing to do because it's lockdown, right? No theater, nothing, no
Mhm.
acting. So I just clutched on my ukulele and wrote a lot of songs. So I'm also a
Amazing.
singer-songwriter.
Hmm.
And so my sequel to Dots are called Lines. L I
Nice.
L I bracket N, yes. Okay. So
Mhm.
I wrote 13 original songs, and again, it was not intentional. I didn't think, oh, I have to do a show afterwards after the lockdown. No, at that time it's just because I was so depressed and I had nothing to do apart from singing, apart from songwriting, apart from creating. So, so afterwards, I also did my solo cabaret because I did my solo drama called Dots. So let's try something different. Okay, I want to sing and do everything. So my sequel to Dots is Line. So it's about how I use the lines because I'm an actress, right? So
Hmm.
so my lines, my lyrics to fight against the lies of this world. Lies. So how I use my
Hmm.
lines, LINES, to fight against the lies of this world. The lines I told myself, I'm not good enough, I'm shit. The lines I told others, the lines that this world told me, like, oh, we have to begin this war because of blah 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 blah, something like that. So it's basically about so the theme is about lines and how I, as an actress, can use my creative works, my lines, to fight against
Mm.
those lines. So again, it very gratefully got very good reviews and then got award nominations, etc. So this one is also keep going on, like doing different kind of versions, concert versions, and also theater versions, cabaret version. So again, as a solo, so I can go to different parts of the world and do my show. So that's lines. And coming up, it's I want to write a screen script. So which is about I don't know if it is scary to you. Which is about the spiritual realm. So because I've got
No, no.
paranormal experiences in the spiritual world, so it
Yes,
would be
yes.
it would be a story about demonic possession and deliverance. So
I'm very open to that. I've had my own experiences as well, and I'm a believer that there's many realms of existence. I don't think
yeah,
that this is just this what we see in here, and so I'm open to explore. And I
yeah,
think through the storytelling is a wonderful way to explore those other realms.
yes, yes. So I
Now,
wasn't.
and before we go into the other realms, I do want to come back on that, but I don't
Okay,
want to lose the important thing that you said that we
okay,
were talking about, and we
sure.
were talking about your hopes and dreams for you. But I also want to bring it back into what you're trying to do for others. You talked about like Mind Hong Kong and
Yeah,
going helping there, and the mental health of the world is in a crisis point where it's being very poorly managed, and there's a lot of bad advice out there, but there's
yes,
also a lot of good trying to be done with the mental health in the world. The recognition of there being a mental health crisis is a good thing in itself, I think. Um, but what do you hope that your art does and helps and makes that positive change? How do you hope it will make things better for others?
Um, first of all, I hope just like what the others told me. So my show is a catalyst for initiating open and honest conversations on mental health. First of all, I want people to feel that it's okay to talk about it. Um, it's I think one of the things that why it's so difficult to tackle this mental health crisis is because I am also once upon a time I also suffered from depression. And I know how difficult it could be to admit that, oh, I have this struggle. Because every time it's kind of like linked to your ability, oh, okay, if you have this problem, maybe that would affect your work, or maybe
Mm.
you're not very good at managing. Oh, my daughter's falling.
That's okay. It's the spiritual realm getting through, saying, "Why aren't you
Okay, yeah.
talking about us?"
Yeah, sorry. So where am I? I'm sorry. What's
That's
my last
okay.
point? What's my last
Yeah.
point?
So we were going through there about how your work is the hope for it helping
Oh yeah, yeah,
others
yeah.
through that our acknowledgement of the mental health crisis.
Yeah. So it's I hope that people will feel okay to talk about it because once upon a time I also found it difficult to talk about it because I was afraid that people would think, okay, so Annie, you have to upgrade your ability to manage your emotions. So it's kind of like a skill that you have to hit on CV. So if you have a mental health problem, it feels like you're not fit to work or and I'm also a teacher, so I teach acting at a university. Somehow you will have a burden. Okay, I'm a teacher, I have to I have to feel like or look like I have it all together. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
it's hard. And for people, if you are a parent, you will know that, oh, okay, so how could I share my vulnerable moments with your children? It's difficult. And somehow, when you are not honest about it, okay, so other people may also have the same problem, but because nobody is talking about it, so people will just hide
mhm,
it. And the tendency to hide it will make the problem even bigger. Because, why does mental health, this mission and vision in doing something that contributes to mental health awareness is so close to heart? One is because I experienced it. I have lived experience of depression. Second, I've got very good friends who took their own lives. And I was so, I felt like, okay, if we have got the chance to talk about it, maybe things wouldn't have gone this way. So always think if we are brave enough, if we have a space that people
mm,
can talk about it. And also at the same time, this is something that audience come back to tell me. They say, okay, Annie, I don't have this mental health issue, honestly. I'm blessed I don't have it. But thank you. Because I am a carer. I have a niece, I have a friend who've got this.
mhm,
And every time I talk to him or her, it feels difficult. Because sometimes, you're very well intentioned and then you would say
mhm,
some things that are inappropriate. Okay, maybe, don't think about this. You have many good things already. Why you are so ungrateful? You know? And then this is not helping. And then they would know, oh, now I know how to show my love and care for them. It's just be there, listen to them.
mm,
And if the relationship, if the moment is appropriate, give them a hug. It's just be there. And this is easier said than done, actually, because we all have the tendency. we all have the tendency to correct people's problems, to, solve people's problems.
I think it's important for us that have been through it to speak about it and say that it's not easy. So for myself, I struggled for a long period of time.
Mm,
I was being a carer for my sick wife. She was ill with cancer,
mm,
and that went on for a long time. And in that time, everyone would ask me, "Are you okay?" And I'd say, "Yes, of course I'm okay," because I thought that's what I had to be. I thought I had to be a strong husband and father, and I couldn't admit weakness in that time.
mm.
And it was really difficult looking back on it, and I didn't think that there would ever be a
Pause that.
way out. Oh, there's the poster down. But in the
It is, I
moment,
hope this is not a bad omen or whatever.
no, of course,
It is, I
there's
meant
no
it,
bad
I meant
omens.
it. Okay.
But where was I? Yeah, so in that moment of sharing of how I felt, of releasing and being honest, the truth of how that period of time was did actually set me free from that dark place
Mm.
by sharing, by allowing others to help and support and not putting up a strong exterior and just finding truthfulness.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I totally with you on this point. We all
But it
wanted to hold the strong exterior, We want to look like Superman and Superwomen. We want to look
yes.
mature, we want to look,
Mm,
unbeatable, but at the same time, that's we are human, and the vulnerability of human beings are also beautiful in a way.
mm,
If we have no vulnerable moments, then what are we here for? I mean, I mean, if we
yeah.
have no problems in our life, then okay. So yeah, yeah, totally with you on this point. So I really hope that people could, you know, be more willing to share and to listen. Empathy is really something that we lack in this generation, and also time. I feel like, having people sitting there listening to you 45 minutes is really, really a luxury. And
hmm
but if you can just be there, have this awareness that something that AI can't give you. So only live
mm,
audience, only, instantaneous connection, doing something together can give you this kind of connection and warmth that as a human being you will feel encouraged and loved.
yes. I think we need each other, don't we? We need that connection between the human beings. There is no and I don't think there ever will be a replacement of that. I think as AI, you mentioned AI there, as that AI becomes more prominent and offers more tools to us, more skills, more services, it will never be able to replace the connection that we can have between each other and how much benefit that gives to all of us.
True, true. And, AI aim at no mistakes. Sometimes you feel like mistakes are actually interesting. You are an actor, right? So when there are accidents,
Yes,
actually it makes the show more interesting. And the audience love
yes,
it when you can save the accidents or survive the accidents.
yes.
So I I don't know, maybe I'm old school and I'm not Gen Z, I'm Gen Y. So so it's like I always feel like, you know, um artificial intelligence, of course, we always have the pros and cons. They will help us to do lots of things, but at the same time, I think it's also distancing people, and a kind of unhealthy replacement for instantaneous human connection. So I
hmm
kind of go the other way. So people, okay, so very good at AI. So they do the AI. I'm very, very keen on doing, in-person interaction. I think it's just more
hmm
precious. You know,
Yes.
back in those days when only rich families can afford iPad, but in the future, it's the other way around. If you could afford,
Yes.
a real person, nanny, or a real friend listening to you, much more
Yes, and
precious.
what's interesting with that, even beyond AI, even with these video calls. So I'm very used to having these conversations with people. Now we're like 300 plus episodes into the podcast, but when I'm doing them over video, I find it a lot more the energy from me is a lot more draining. But when I'm with people, we feed off each other energy wise. And
Mm.
and this brings me on to what we put a pin in there, the other realms of existence and your spiritual connections and your stories that you want to start to share. So what is it that you want to, what message do you want to come out of your spiritual experiences that you've had?
Um, I want to, what messages? Really good question. I want to bring this, how should I would say, so why people would think my show is uplifting or inspiring, or they feel more hope after watching it. The key is not like, oh, all my problems got sorted and this is a fairy world. No, it's not. Definitely, I promise you, it's not. It's a tragic comedy, okay? Reviews every bit of our real life, okay? It's a tragic comedies, that's the word for it. Um, but it's we are not doing this alone, and and we don't need, you know, broad daylight every day. So sometimes there is darkness. But when there is darkness, the beams of light becomes the dots of light becomes very, very precious, and also it's the thing that will sustain you to go on. So don't look for like, okay, so everything will get sorted out. Maybe no. Okay, so very honestly, so at this age, when you are young, when you are a child, when you're young, you will start accumulating things in your life. Okay, you get more money, okay, you get more freedom, and then, but then when you're middle, so now I'm middle-aged, okay, so you get losing things, losing your health,
Yes.
losing your, collagen, whatever, youth,
Hmm.
time, okay, so you won't get all things sorted, and you have to accept it. But at the same time, you will appreciate this kind of so-called imperfections or darker moments, because only in the dark you can see light. Okay, so if there's this broad daylight, you don't need a lamp, you don't need a light bulb, you don't need a candle. But in the dark, you can see the light. So I don't know if it is, yeah, if I may say so, this is something that poetically or you know visually that I want to give the audience this kind of imagery. If you remember
Hmm.
nothing about my show after a few days or after a few years, remember the last picture. I
Hmm.
hope it will kind of like stick to their mind when when you are going through the darkness. It's always not like complete darkness. There is something there. You just have to look for it and let people to be that dots of light also. You don't have to do
Hmm.
everything yourself because it's impossible. And when you are ready, like I've gone through my own dark tunnel, you also share your dots of light with others. Yeah.
Mm. And Annie, you hearing your story, you are the light now.
Oh,
That's what I
thank
hear
you.
from you. And you're shining the light for others and you're doing that through your life and your work. This has been a really wonderful conversation. I really appreciate you sharing today.
Thank you,
As
Martin.
as we as we come to the end of this conversation, I do have one final question. It's a bit of hypothetical for you. If you was to be able to go back in time and you was to go able to go back to that younger Annie that was in her dark space, and now that you're the light, what would you say to her?
First of all, I think maybe, yeah, I would say something, but first of all, I would give her a hug.
Yes.
Because I feel like I owe her a hug. That
Hmm.
kind of full embrace is not like, it's not just the physical hug, I embrace you. So you're not perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You're good enough. You're Annie. You're unique. I hug you. So I would give her a hug. And then I would say, this will pass. And you're not alone in this. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That was lovely, Annie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really do appreciate you, and thank you for sharing. Now, where do we find your show? Where can we find you in Edinburgh?
Okay. So let's pick up the dots now.
Let's pick up the poster.
Okay, the Space UK. I am at Nidri Street. Okay, Space UK. So it will be on the 1st of August until 19th of August, not the 10th. The 10th is my dark day, so it's 18 shows in a row, just one dark day. So
You need to have a rest.
I don't know. So
You need it to re-energize.
yeah, really, really energized. And I look for a gym to do my workout. And then, I need dopamine and I need everything.
Of
So,
course.
yeah. And also, the warm and nice presence of the audience. So do come, and I really, really enjoy sharing this work with audience. I'm sure audience will like it because this is the confidence that given to me by the audience in the past. The only thing that I feel uncertain is Edinburgh Fringe is very, 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 very competitive. We have many, many good shows out there.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, yeah. So
But you keep you doing your thing, Annie, and keep being the light. And I look forward to seeing your show. And
yeah,
I'll be sure to share the link in the comments below for where people can get tickets.
yeah,
Well,
and
thanks
also you
again,
can,
Annie. And
yeah.
sorry, go on.
No, no, no. I just want to say if they want to know more, if they just the easiest ways is to go to my IG. So my IG is actress Annie. So ACTRES as actress Annie ANNIE. So it's easy to find me, and then lots of my show information, interviews, and audience testimony. So all over there. So and welcome to connect
Wonderful.
with me anytime.